Alright, so I thought of a new series that I want to do on the channel, right, which is just some fun series to where I go through the whole Kingdom Hearts 3 campaign with a certain Keyblade and rank it based how good it did during the campaign on its mob fights, its boss fights, and certain sectors and its ability. But not much introduction needs to be said. Go to the timestamps of where you want to go on the video, and yeah, let's introduce you to Wheel of Fate. A really good Keyblade, mostly focusing on strength with a bit of magic to where you can fall back on it. So yeah, we'll review the Keyblade itself, how good it did during the campaign, its strengths and weaknesses, right? And its form changes, we'll get into later in the video. But yeah, let's get on into it. Alright, so now after that little information on Wheel of Fate, let's get on to the main strengths of its Keyblade transformations, High Wind and Storm Flag, starting off with its major strengths. Let's start off with Wheel of Fate's main strength is that it excels in boss fights with its great stats, 6 strength and 4 magic. This is the base stats, mind you, and magic isn't unusable, but strength is its main trait, especially with all that strength, and you get access to more damage with your Keyblade transformations like High Wind, with its really good attack sequences. Let's first talk about the Omega Finale, to where you not only teleport with the Omega Finale, right, which is phenomenal, giving you invincibility frames, but all the spears do individual damage, especially with the Grand Magic of Water just giving you access to more damage. It's amazing, especially with all the spears. And the teleportation is really amazing, since you could just close in on opponents who are far away. And it also gives you invincibility frames, like I said before, which is just amazing. Like the startup being really fast, and just a flip sequence give you invisibility frames also. And High Wind's attacks drag you quite far to where you can catch up to opponents really far away. And the attacks are wide, meaning you can also have good crowd control, like what I showed right there. This also goes for Storm Flag, to where the attacks drag you really far. And it's really good for crowd control too. Not as good as High Wind, but still manageable. Especially since Storm Flag has the finisher, to where it also helps it more with crowd control, which makes its crowd control not abysmal. It's not too good. But let's move on to the shot lock. Wheel of Fate's shot lock isn't that good. It doesn't excel too well at like gang fights because its damage gets divided. You already know the main thing. It excels at like single fights. But Storm Flag has a really good combo with it, to where you can combo the full thing, especially doing a lot of damage with its Omega Finale. The only messy part is its camera angle, but you can sometimes get a good camera angle to where it makes it easier to combo off of it. But still, right, it's a really good combo. But here's the example to where it's like your damage gets divided a bit too much with a gang fight, right? To where it's like you could see all this damage getting divided up, which isn't bad. And also High Wind excels better at like gang fights, to where you can also see the Grand Magic just being a giant explosion, which is better than Storm Flag, especially looking at Storm Flag and how it has these more single target attacks, right? Especially, let's go to its Grand Magic, to where it's not bad and it's really good for switching out Keyblade, but it's not good for gang fights, and it's not as big as like High Winds. But its stats are really good. Final stats, 11 strength, to where it hits really hard, and 9 magic, to where magic is really usable. Really good Keyblade. Those are my final thoughts. Now let's move on to the negatives. Well, we're done with the positives, everyone, or the strengths. Bro, this flag is heavy, like... dude, let me put this down. Like, yeah, there we go. Let me stretch. That shit is heavy. Now we have a lot of strengths. Let's go over some of Wheel of Fate's weaknesses. The Storm Flag combo, or the initial flag throw, isn't that good. Its tracking is a bit off, and it doesn't go very far. And unlike High Wind, the Omega Finale on Storm Flag does have invincibility frames, and High Wind suffers from fighting aerial enemies, to where it'll sometimes just have bad tracking and drag itself to a different direction. Its spears can miss, and against aerial enemies, it'll just pull itself downwards during its combos. Hell, even Storm Flag has this flaw too. And one minor flaw that you probably don't see as a flaw is it's a double transformation, to where you have to deal with one transformation before you can get to your main power and finisher, which can hinder it, especially if you're in a gang fight and you need your finisher immediately. And if you want to deal with like a weaker transformation, but both the transformations are really good, so it's not that bad. Notable moments is just a fun little section that I created. It doesn't matter too much. I'm just going over the biggest moments to what it did fun in the campaign during my story mode adventure. But yeah, it got a pretty good time during the Hercules minigame. destroyed the times really well, fairly well, mind you, especially with the spirit thing. I absolutely destroyed Toy King. Like, I felt bad during this fight because I was just beating him up really badly. But yeah, there aren't too many other moments. And also, during the replicas fight, I had them on low HP. This was my first attempt and I failed miserably, which made me really mad deep down. But I just clicked retry. And it also gets this fun moment. Even though a lot of Keyblades can do this, it destroyed the health bar because they all have the same health bar, right? But yeah, just fun little moments like this. And yeah, let's just move on. Alright, so the short and simple answer for this Keyblade's ranking is it's an S tier Keyblade, right? Really good for boss fights with its damage, magic damage. Really good. And for gank fights, it's not bad. And it can do a good job with its wide swings, its finisher, and its invincibility frames on some of its moves. But yeah, that's the short and simple answer for it. S tier Keyblade, no doubt about it. So yeah, let's move on to one final section that I call the Dark Inferno boss fight. Alright, so this section is just a little fun again, to where I give the Keyblade one final shine during one final boss. And I chose Dark Inferno since he's a nice little super boss that I like to fight. And I think he's really cool personally. So yeah, this is just one final shine for a Keyblade. I might keep this, I might not keep this, but yeah. So I'm fighting him at level 40, I'll do this for other Keyblades, so yeah. You can just enjoy the boss fight, or if you just don't care about Dark Inferno, I already set the timestamp to where you can just go to the end result screen, then the video is over. So yeah, if you're here, thanks for watching.
Back off! Over here! Try this! Yeah! Ha-ha! Yeah! Yeah! It's over! Yeah! Try this! Yeah! See ya! Yeah! 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 Go! Come on! Yeah! Yeah! Take this! Got him! Back at you! Yeah, take this! Got him! There! Later! Yeah! Yes! Hook in! Heal! Yeah, back at you! Over here! Ha-ha! Yeah! Yeah! Stream! Here we go! Whoa. So long! Yeah! Back at you! Back off! Yeah! Take this! Back at you! Got him! Gotcha!